Before we begin, a few important words. This recording is intended for relaxation, personal development, and general well-being. It is not therapy, it is not medical treatment, and it is not a substitute for professional care from a licensed healthcare provider. No specific results are promised or guaranteed. Every person's experience is unique, and what you take from this session is entirely your own. If you are dealing with a medical condition, a mental health concern, or are currently receiving treatment of any kind, please continue to work with your healthcare provider. This recording is meant to complement your well-being, never to replace professional guidance. Hypnosis recordings, while effective for many people, are not a replacement for working one-on-one with a trained and highly skilled clinical hypnotherapist. If you are dealing with a specific issue and would like personalized help, I invite you to visit phobiafree.life and schedule a free consultation with a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Before we begin, this recording contains hypnosis. Please do not listen to this while driving, operating machinery, or doing anything that requires your full attention. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you can simply relax, undisturbed, for the duration of this session. If at any time you need to be fully alert, you can simply open your eyes, take a deep breath, and return to full waking awareness immediately. Find yourself in a comfortable position now. And you don't need to do anything in particular, just allow your body to settle the way it naturally wants to when given permission to simply be still. You might notice the weight of your body against whatever is supporting you right now. And isn't it interesting how you never really noticed that support before, and yet it was always there? Your eyes can remain open, or they may find their own way to close. And some people find their eyes closing almost before they expect them to. And that's perfectly fine, because your unconscious mind always knows exactly what it needs. With each breath you take, you don't even have to try to relax, because relaxation isn't something you do. It's something you allow, and your body already knows how. Perhaps you notice a gentle heaviness beginning in your shoulders, or maybe it starts somewhere else entirely. It doesn't matter where it begins, only that it spreads slowly, naturally, the way warmth spreads through your hands on a cold day, without any effort at all. And as that comfortable feeling continues to deepen, your mind may begin to drift a little, the way it does in those moments just before sleep, when thoughts become softer, less urgent, more like clouds passing than anything requiring your attention. You don't need to follow every word I say. In fact, your unconscious mind is already doing exactly what it needs to do, and your conscious mind is welcome to rest. With every breath out, just a little more comfortable, a little more settled, a little more yours. And when you're ready, we can go somewhere quite wonderful together. I want to tell you something about worry that most people don't realize. Worry disguises itself as productivity. It pretends to be useful. It says, if I worry about this enough, I'll be prepared. If I think about all the things that could go wrong, I'll be ready for them. But here's what actually happens when you worry. Nothing. Nothing gets solved. Nothing gets prepared. Nothing gets built. Worry is a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. And I think somewhere inside, you already know that. Because if worry actually solved problems, you'd have no problems left. You've done enough worrying to solve every problem 10 times over. And yet, here you are, still worrying, which means worry isn't solving anything. It's just running, like a hamster wheel. Motion without progress. So tonight, we're going to step off the wheel, not by fighting the worry, but by giving your mind something better to do. First, a feeling. Think of a time when you felt free from worry, not just distracted, genuinely free. A time when the future wasn't weighing on you, the past wasn't pulling at you, and you were simply here, in this moment, with nothing else required. Maybe it was on a vacation, deep enough into it that you'd finally stop thinking about home. Or maybe it was a moment of being completely absorbed in something, a conversation, a sunset, a piece of music, where the worry simply couldn't get your attention because your attention was already taken. Or your own moment, a time when your mind was clean and open and present. Find that feeling, your word for it, and let it return. And notice the relief. Even just a taste of it, even just remembering what it felt like to not be worrying, brings this wave of, oh, right, this is what normal feels like. This is what my mind feels like when it's not chewing on something. Let that feeling grow. Let it expand outward. Let it fill the space that worry usually occupies. Good. Now, I want you to imagine that every worry you're carrying is a stone. An actual physical stone. And you've been carrying them in your pockets. Some are small, pebbles really, mild concerns, things that probably won't happen, but you carry them anyway, just in case. Some are medium, real concerns that do deserve attention, but not the constant grinding attention you've been giving them. And some are large, heavy stones that you've been carrying for so long that your back aches from the weight. And right now, I'd like you to reach into your pockets and start taking the stones out. One at a time. Start with the small ones, the petty worries, the what-ifs that never actually become what is. Take them out, look at them for a moment, and ask yourself, is carrying this stone making my life better? Is holding on to this worry actually preventing the thing I'm worried about? And when the answer is no, and it almost always is, set the stone down, on the ground, not with anger, not with frustration, just gently, the way you'd put down something you no longer need. And feel yourself get lighter. Now the medium stones, the real concerns. Take them out, look at them, and ask, can I do anything about this right now, in this moment? If you can, you don't need to worry about it. You need to do something about it, and you can do that tomorrow with a clear mind. If you can't, then carrying the stone is pointless. You're holding weight that changes nothing. Set it down. You can pick it up again if you need to, but for right now, set it down. And feel yourself get lighter still. And now, the big ones, the heavy stones, the worries that have been with you so long they feel like part of your identity, the ones you almost can't imagine putting down because you've been carrying them for years. These are the hardest to release, not because they're important, although they might be, but because your mind has convinced you that putting them down means not caring, that if you stop worrying, it means you've given up. But that's not true. Putting down the stone doesn't mean you don't care about the situation. It means you're choosing to care about it with a clear mind instead of a crushed one. You can't think straight when you're bent double under the weight. Set them down. Even if it feels strange, even if it feels wrong, set them down and feel what happens to your body when you do. Lighter, taller, freer, like you can finally breathe, really breathe, for the first time in months. And that feeling you found, that freedom from worry, amplify it now. Double it. Feel yourself becoming buoyant, light, as if the worry was ballast, and without it you're naturally rising, not floating away, just standing at your full height for the first time in a long time. Double it again. And you might try to pick one of those stones back up. Go ahead, try to reach for your biggest worry, try to start the loop again. And notice how your body says no, not right now. You feel too good, you feel too light, you feel too free. The harder you try to grab the stone, the less your hands want to close around it, because your body knows the difference now. It knows what carrying feels like. And it knows what freedom feels like, and given the choice, it chooses freedom every time. You know, Erickson once said something simple but profound. He said, "Worry is interest paid on a debt you may never owe." You've been paying interest on debts that might never come due, on futures that might never happen, on disasters that exist only in the what-if section of your imagination, and you've been paying that interest with your peace of mind, your sleep, your health, your joy. That's an expensive payment for something that might not even be real. And tonight, you're defaulting on that debt. You're saying, "I'm done paying interest on things that haven't happened. If they happen, I'll deal with them then, with a clear mind, with a rested body, with resources that haven't been depleted by months of pointless worry." Now imagine a morning. You wake up, and your first thought isn't a worry. For the first time in you can't remember how long, your first thought is just morning, just here I am, just today. Without the automatic scroll of anxieties that usually starts before your eyes are even open. And you realize the things you were worried about are still there. The situations haven't changed, but you have. You're not carrying them anymore. You're beside them, looking at them clearly. And from this unburdened, clear-headed place, you realize most of them are smaller than they seem. And the few that are real, you can actually handle them now, because you're not exhausted from the carrying. And now, in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And you can choose. Open your eyes, feeling light and unburdened and clear, or drift into sleep, every stone on the ground, every pocket empty, every worry released. Whatever you choose is exactly right. 1. Beginning to shift, light, free, unburdened. 2. The stones stay on the ground. They'll be there if you need them. You won't. 3. Your body knows, trust it. 4. Almost there. Clear, light, present. 5. Eyes opening, free and clear and ready, or eyes closing deeper, pockets empty, mind quiet, drifting into the most peaceful rest. Whichever you chose, the stones are down, and you are free.